All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Ninja Monkey. And I think that we are finally live. As far as I'm aware, we're finally live. I'm just going to ask my little broadcaster who's there in the sidelines to
Yeah.
give me a thumbs up if we're live. Yay! Okay, I've just done a whole introduction. I'll just do it all over again. Take two. I'm Nathan Ninja Monkey. On this live streams every Sunday, I try to help people like yourself who travel to Japan make the right choices, help you with locations, questions that you might have about Japan, etc. And we have an incredible community of people in the chat that are always helping. Usually get into my answers and get into questions far before me. Some people are incredibly helpful, and I want to say that I appreciate you. And I really appreciate the donations that come my way, which actually help me create the content, go to Japan, film, and put things together. And yeah, so let me just very quickly say hello to a few people. We've got hello, hello, Japan, Japan, Ichiban is in the chat. By the way, we have a special guest, which I will introduce once I sort of go for the hellos. Um, Romy, I'll go get through any questions in a minute, so you might have to repeat the question. Welcome. Lorma Gray, hello there. Hi, how are you doing? Exactly 1 month. Awesome. Howdy Bojo, how are you doing? 2.5 weeks or yeah, 2.5 bananas. I have one banana to go. One banana to go. Very excited. And hello from early morning Kyoto. Girl Wonder Down Under. I've been seeing some of your stuff. So jealous. Looks so beautiful. Um, yeah, awesome. Let's see. Tommy Tran, Frog Lady, thank you so much. Thank you for your donation. Arigato gozaimasu. Wow. Even before I got started, I very, very much appreciate it. Big time. Um, I need Mr. Monkey's opinion on the Oriental Pearl versus Chris drama. I'll speak a little bit about it. I don't want to get involved, and I'm gonna say what I think. I'm just gonna stick up for my friends at the end of the day. So, but I'm gonna say what I think a little bit. I think I can mention it a little bit, but I don't want the stream to be about that. So I think we should keep all the drama out of there. I don't want the chat to end up like a drama thing. And yeah, John Dobb has done a thing on the topic, and and as a result, I am a friend of Oriental Pearl. I hang out with Oriental Pearl a lot. In fact, that video, that what the video in question, part of the footage is mine. There's my footage in there, and some of the B-roll. So, but yeah. Anyway, anybody else? Okay. Apologies if I don't get through things as we normally do, but I am going to introduce the host of the day, the hosts, the guest of the day, and the host, the guest of the day, Japan Ichiban, and just a little thing, and that is that things are a little bit different when I have a guest on here, and that means that potentially, um, you know, I'll try to answer questions more than like have a normal discussion. Audio levels might not be quite perfect, so please bear that in mind. We're trying to welcome.
Hello.
How
How are
are
you?
you? I'd like to introduce Japan Ichiban, who has an incredible Facebook page, which is growing by the day, making me very jealous every single time that I see his numbers go up. Very, very quite fast compared to mine, and he has a lot of love for Japan, and I must say that you've lost a little bit of weight.
I have actually lost a bit of weight, believe it or not. I actually posted about that the other day. I've lost about 7 kilos in the last few months, and I'm continuing to get fitter and stronger every day. But thanks very much for noticing. Funnily enough, my barber noticed the most, because he sees you every 4 weeks or something. He's like, Alan, have you lost some weight? I have actually. Thanks very much for noticing. I
Awesome.
had plenty weight to lose. That's the problem, though. So,
So we're just gonna
so
check to
yeah.
see if the audio's okay, the levels are okay, if everything can be heard, if you can all hear everything from your side. I think so because people are replying. So
Yeah.
Japan Ichiban, Alan. I'm gonna refer to him as Alan or JJI. I have one Tokyo banana. Actually, I have half. I have three-quarters of a Tokyo banana to go. Actually, if I want to be technical, I have maybe three-quarters of a Tokyo banana to go. You have like one bite to go, I think.
I have like three sevenths of a banana to go. In fact, two sevenths really. There's only it's Sunday night here now, so I fly Wednesday morning. So there's 2 more days really.
Very, very, very
That's
exciting.
it. I
Um,
can't wait. Can't wait
yeah,
again.
yeah, I'm very excited. Also, I mean, I fly on Saturday. I start making my way up on Saturday. However, I make my way to the airport on Friday evening because my flight's quite early in the morning. On the Saturday.
Okay.
So I decided, I'll just stay in a nearby in the airport. It's about an hour, 15 minutes drive from where I am, the airport that I'm flying out
Yep.
from. So that's my plan. And in my mind, even though I fly off on Saturday, Friday is when my adventure starts, if that makes any sense. Any
Yeah, yeah,
excuse
of
to make
course.
it feel like you're going to Japan, right?
No, no, I know what you mean. It's how soon can we start the holiday? You know, I've been ticking a lot of holiday boxes recently, visit Japan web, make sure all the apps are downloaded. Have I got some cash, Nathan? I know you don't like me taking cash.
No, I don't. I
Um,
don't mind. I don't mind. I don't think there's any problem with it. Let's talk about the money. I think that's a great topic that
yep.
you've brought up.
All kind
How
of
we do money. First of all, I don't wanna. I give you my point of view. The general public, the people who are watching. I give you the way that I do things because they work for me. But I think that sometimes I don't want to come across as if like it's my way or the highway. I think that everybody has their way of doing Japan, and I want to remind everyone that you can do Japan whichever way you want. From my
that
experience,
is fantastic advice, by the way. Yeah, that is great advice. What you've just said,
yeah,
you're
100%.
absolutely spot on.
Like
Yeah.
whenever somebody asks me a question, I answer it from my point of view. No,
Yep.
so it doesn't
Hmm.
mean that it's the only way to do things. From my point of
Yep.
view, I think that once you experience using a travel card, a physical travel card, um, and a combination of ATMs in Japan, things change, perspective change. I was very much like you. Tell me how you do. I'm talking a lot. I'm a little bit like rattled up.
Hey, no, your point of view is just as valid as mine, Nathan. Let's remember that. It's important to hear a different point of view always, in all fairness. So for me, obviously, we've both been traveling to Japan for quite a long time now. So we both have our own different ways of doing things. But I quite like having my holiday money like in my hand. Like I know how much money I've got. I know how much to spend. And I know when this very small pile of money gets even smaller, that I need to, make sure I'm not spending too much. But you know what it's like in Japan. Well, for me at least, I'm actually quite frugal in Japan on some things, and then not on others. But so if you have a daily budget, sometimes
Here's a
you
Halloween
can be
snack.
quite under that budget for a few days, and then you probably catch up on the third or fourth day, buy some nice clothes, have a trip to Uniqlo or something else. So I think having cash for me helps with that budgeting side of stuff. But then I can always nip to a cash machine and just draw some cash out as well if I need to do.
Yeah, I've done it. I used to bring cash out and do it your way, having a certain amount of. I
Yeah.
used to even put money into envelopes per day, like I was that kind of
Ah, yeah,
traveler
nice.
where I was like, this is my
Hmm.
budget. Um, but I just discovered that being able to have a travel card and a travel card, like for example with Revolut or Wise or other similar ones, you do actually end
Yeah.
up with a sort of like wallet, which is like a savings wallet for yen, and you can see exactly how much you spend on the day. You can see it go down, and not only that, but I do always carry cash in my wallet. Always, I always have maybe 20,000 or maybe 30,000 yen in my wallet, which is just like enough
Nice.
if anything was to happen and I needed to, for example, even get a Shinkansen like emergency
Emergency
train. I
funds.
think that's
Yeah.
my sort of rule. I have enough money for a Shinkansen ticket emergency if anything was to happen. But I
That's a sensible
usually
idea.
I usually pay with my card, hotels especially, obviously, restaurants, that kind of thing. And if I need to use cash, then I use cash or Suica. And I've literally pretty much I would say 70% of my transactions are now cash free, which is quite something. Things have changed
Wow.
quite a bit, especially in the
Yeah,
bigger
that's so
cities.
different to me. Wow.
Hey,
Yeah, I
thank you so
actually
much, Jennifer. Arigato
oh, thanks, Jennifer.
for the super chat. Much appreciated. Halloween snack fund. Yay.
Nice. Can you still do the thing, Nathan? Can you still do the oh thing that you do?
Can I do it? Hold on. I'm not very sure if I. Yeah, but it's only on my side.
I know. Ah, look at all the stars.
Sorry, you don't have confetti in your
Oh no,
side
it's that
of.
way. Isn't it? It's that way. Yeah. It looks pretty good though.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty
yeah,
cool.
I think it's interesting debate about cash. I've never really been refused anywhere except one place actually. I was live streaming once and I was trying to pay for some beers with cash, and the people were like, "Oh no, it's card only here." I was like, "Wow, that's the first time I've ever come across that."
It
Really?
happens. It's very rare. I mean, it happens. Like the expo
Yeah.
was cashless. Um,
Yeah.
there are some very specific situations where they won't accept cash. It's very strange, but like I said, I want to make it
Hmm.
very clear. Do it your way. I always recommend that if you are a first time traveler to Japan, take cash. Like if you're a first time traveler to Japan, take cash.
Yeah.
Mostly cash. At least half cash, half card or whatever. But once you sort of done Japan a few times, you sort of figure out how things work. For me, the biggest advantage of using a currency card is actually the exchange rate that you get and the much smaller fee. In fact, you end up not paying a fee at all when you are using your card in Japan. You get
Yeah.
the currency, you know. So that's the biggest advantage, really. And but
See,
do
that's
it
really
whatever works for
good.
you.
Yeah, that's really good. If you think about it from my perspective, is because I use my card so infrequently in Japan, I wouldn't see that saving because I've already converted my cash. That makes sense.
Yeah,
But I suppose I've lost it already when I initially converted the cash.
yeah.
So yeah, although I had a good rate this time, Nathan.
The
You must
rate
have
has
had a
been
good rate, yeah?
amazing.
I think I had pretty much 200 yen to £1, like dead on the nose, pretty much.
Yeah,
199.9 or something. It's
yeah.
fantastic.
I wanted to with you online. Some people have been asking me about the Oriental Pearl Chris drama, and I'm just going to address it very quickly by reading something that
Okay.
I actually wrote down. Um, and let me just read it for you because it was actually a comment that I wrote on one of the chats, one of the things that were basically happening. And where is it? So this is what I wrote. And I honestly mean it. I'm saying this as somebody who is a friend of Oriental Pearl, of Alyssa. And I wrote, although I might be a small content creator, I've spent a lot of time with Oriental Pearl, and she's someone who generally looks out for others, helping people behind the scenes and tackling issues most won't dare touch. Okay? And it's true. There's a lot of things that she does that I know because I'm her friend that nobody knows to help people. I've seen firsthand her dedication to her videos, which is ridiculous. Like the amount of information, that research. Um, some of the videos I've helped actually film, so I've been there first and in the ground. She doesn't just get a GoPro and simply starts recording things. She goes onto the street with a very clear vision, that's usually based on research, and most importantly, based on passion. I've never met anybody who is as passionate about creating content and creating it correctly as I have her, to be honest. And I've learned a lot from her, you know? Um,
Yep.
and I was going to say here, I've watched how certain projects have taken over a year to complete. There's a few projects that I know that I've been helping her film, and it's been like over a year and a half, and she still hasn't put them out because she feels like she hasn't done it justice or whatever. Um,
Wow.
and I've put she hasn't. She's taken over a year to complete because of her relentless commitment to research, getting the right footage, and doing each story justice. I truly consider her a close friend. I do, and someone that always looks out for those around her, regardless of subscriber counts. And this for me is a big thing. You know, she will look at the person, not the subscriber count. She has lots of little creators like me who she will happily hang around with. Um, and I think when it comes to the whole thing, the actual video that she put out, I think has been, some people have seen it through the wrong eyes. She's not a tourism um channel. Her content isn't about tourism and things that are tourist centric. Unlike, I feel, Chris, myself, and some other creators, we focus on that, on tourists. And her content isn't. Her content, if you look back, a lot of her content is about social issues, the homeless, and all sorts of things like that. And she doesn't target her videos to tourists. She targets it to just general, general people who are interested in whatever. She does things about China. She does things about Korea. She does things about Japan, and and I was actually very shocked when I saw. I mean, I knew from the very beginning when she put out that video that it was a passion project of hers. I knew because she told me that she wanted to make this video. And I knew
Yeah.
that she had noticed all these changes that were going on around her neighborhood and around certain areas in Tokyo. And when she went out to document this, I told her, I said, for me, it's a non-issue. I come from Europe, like there's graffiti pretty much
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
Like for me, it was pretty much like, if it's your passion project, whatever, like you want to tell people, do it. But I didn't see it as being super important for me personally. When I go to Japan, do I notice graffiti? Here and there. Have I noticed that it's any more or any less? I don't know because it's not something that I focused on. To be honest, it's not been a focus of mine. But I guess that when you live there and you walk in the same streets over and over and over again and you see things change, then you're going to notice. And Sora the
Yeah.
Troll specifically did an incredible live stream where he went on Google Maps and demonstrated and showed step by step most of the locations that she went to, or if, in fact, probably all the locations that she went to, and actually showed that even he said that he was shocked by the amount of graffiti. That had he couldn't believe it himself. And there was another
Yeah.
Japanese YouTuber who also pointed out that this issue has even recently come up in the news. Um, so I have to say, facts are facts. You cannot hide from the fact that the Japanese news is bringing this issue up, and you cannot hide from the fact that the locations that she pointed her camera at are worse for graffiti. I honestly think that some people, not everyone, some people have gone and watched the video through the eyes of Chris Broad and not through their own eyes. And I think that if they actually went and maybe watched the video with a clean slate, and now knowing the knowledge of the facts that in the news, and the facts that these graffiti have appeared in the last 2 years, maybe they would see things differently. But I'm not gonna get involved with the drama. I'm just saying, I'm just sticking up for a friend, and I'm sticking up as in terms of, I'm sticking up for her character. I am, you know me, and I am vouching for her character, in-person character. That's basically all I have to say in the matter. I haven't really said anything bad about Chris Broad or whatever. I don't want to talk about that, about Chris Broad. That's a whole other issue. How we deal with commenting and our views on things. That's a whole other thing that I'm not gonna get involved with. But I can just vouch and give it a little bit of my personal, like, interactions with her, and
Yeah.
hopefully it will give you a better sense of what kind of a person she is and why she puts these videos together. And maybe you'll go back and you'll rewatch things. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but I do hope that that knowing me and following me and knowing the kind of person that I am, that you will be able to vouch for her through me, if that makes any sense. Anyway, anyway. So that's all I'm gonna say. I hope it's been useful for some of you. Not that it mattered what I say anyway. I'm a tiny little YouTube creator. I'm not gonna have hundreds of people tuning in because and Chris Broad isn't gonna appear all of a sudden in my chat, especially at this time. But
Hold on,
but
I thought you was Chris Broad, Nathan. Is that
well,
not true? Oh my god!
I
After
am
all this
Chris Broad
time.
after all, right?
Oh my god.
I am. I am Chris Broad.
Uh, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it's a whole interesting thing, isn't it? I'm not going to give my opinion either.
No,
Two big content
I
creators
don't.
want to
This is
argue. That's up to them.
yeah.
So
I
it's
just
out of
given.
my hands.
I haven't given my stance is from a personal. It's different. I'm talking
Yeah,
personally here. I'm not talking about, I have spoken about the video because obviously there's a lot been, updates since, where we now have seen the evidence of what's happening. It's not like a non-issue. It seems that it's not actually a non-issue. It's in the news. But but
yeah.
like I said, most of everything that I've said is just from a personal level. So there
Well,
we
you
go.
know,
Those of you
our
who
internet
wanted the
world, don't you?
dirt
So
probably haven't have got the most Ninja Monkey vanilla sort of like dirt that you could ever get. I don't think you'll ever like you can't hopefully you can't misunderstand what I've said.
that's right. Now that's it. Nathan hates Tokyo bananas. You heard it
No,
here
no,
first,
no, no,
everybody.
no, no, no.
You heard it here first.
So whilst I read through some of these chat things that have come up, can you
Yep.
tell me or tell the chat if what your plan is whilst you are in Japan on the next
Are you presuming I actually have a plan, Nathan?
well, I hope so. You
That's
got
very
a
kind of you.
JR pass, no?
The plan is to head to Japan. No, I do have a plan. So I'm landing in Tokyo, flying to Narita as per usual, and I'm Tokyo based, which is great. But we used to do nothing but Tokyo many moons ago, years ago, if you remember. And it's your fault I decided to travel around Japan, Nathan.
Yay.
But I realised I was missing out as well. So since then, we never really want to just stay in one place, or if we do, we want to do the hub and spoke method that I like to do so much. So get a JR pass and then absolutely annihilate the Shinkansen or JR lines for like 5, 6, 7 days. Really get your money's worth out of the JR pass. So we've got a few different places we'd like to go to. We're going to go to Nagoya, which looks absolutely beautiful. I've never actually been to Nagoya. I tend to just go through it. So some of
Watch
the
my video.
maglev stuff is quite interesting. Yeah, no, I've watched your Nagoya video, don't worry. So that
The
looks
chicken wings, you
quite a
need
lot
to
of
have the
fun.
chicken wings in Nagoya, I swear. I swear.
I know that they looked fantastic. The chicken wings, they look really, really good. There's a guy who I've spoke to on Facebook as well. Who's part of Nagoya Explorers, who's given me some hints as well. So the guy was pretty fun. We'd quite like to go to Fukui, Fukui where the dinosaur museum is, and Echizen Daibutsu, so the big Buddha hall thing in Fukui. That sounds like fun. Again, Shinkansen. We are going to go to Nagano. Nagano also looks like a great place to go. I want to walk up that main road, towards the temple and shrine there at the top. That sounds like fun. And Matsumoto as well. I didn't know there was a direct train from Shinjuku to Matsumoto, by the way, but I know that now. It looks similar to a Next train, if you're familiar with the Nexes, but not the same, like the E259, whichever one it is. So that'll be fun. And that's 4 places already. So you've already paid for your JR pass. We've got a day out planned, haven't we, together? Or are we
Yeah.
going to? You heard it here first. Probably not. But yeah, Nagano Matsumoto looked fantastic for me. So if I've got another day or two, I'd probably like to go down to Kamakura, see what's going on there. Kamakura, Enoshima type place, see that candle thing. And maybe Niigata, or we might even go back up to Sendai, because we really liked Sendai, in all fairness. And there was lots of places we didn't visit, so we could spend a day in
I think you'd
Sendai.
really like Aizu Wakamatsu,
Yeah, I've seen Anto Wakamatsu, and it
like
does
big
look good.
time. I think
Well, there's that village there, isn't there? Like a
yeah, there's
traditional
like a
Edo
yeah.
period village. Yeah. Or someone just asking about the Shinjuku to Matsumoto train. If I just answer that quickly. Hey Dean, thanks for asking. How fast is the train from Shinjuku to Matsumoto? It's just over 2 hours direct. And it's literally Shinjuku station. So 2 hours there, spend all day at Matsumoto, come back at night.
Yeah, it all
Sounds
depends
like
on
a
what
nice
pocket
train
of
home.
Tokyo you're staying. When it comes to these things, like trips to
Yep.
Matsumoto or Nagano, even Nagano, if you're staying down Tokyo Station, Ueno area, then you can get the Shinkansen up, and then move on to a local train, which will probably be quicker.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but if you're staying in Shinjuku,
There's
you do
lots of
have
different ways.
access, a different access. So a lot of the
Yeah.
time, I give like my account is usually from Ueno to Tokyo Station because that's usually where I stay, right? So
Yeah.
very exciting.
Well, we didn't mention whereabouts I'm staying then. So I'm staying in the Mejiro area, as per usual. You know me. Mejiro, Ikebukuro type of space, Nerima, northwest Tokyo. That's probably right, northwest. So for me, I am 5 minutes from the Yamanote line, 10 minutes to Shinjuku. At a push, and not so much different to Shibuya and stuff as well. So I'll probably head to Ueno if I want to catch the Shinkansen,
Yeah,
or if I want to go across country, um, probably Tokyo Station because Shinjuku to Tokyo Station is really quick on that express train. It's about 15 minutes, I think, on the express. So yeah, it's super accessible part of Tokyo,
yeah,
and it's not so bad. It's a great place to be, I think.
it is. It is. I'm gonna be staying
Mm.
in Akasaka area,
Yeah, nice.
so I'm
That should be
staying
fun.
with a friend, and it's it's an interesting area. I've sort of started to like it. It's because I'm not a big fan of Roppongi, but yeah, it's very close to Roppongi. But it's
Yeah.
one of these areas where I'm staying where it's actually better for me to get a bus to Shibuya than the train. Um,
Oh, okay.
it's kind of interesting. I mean, it takes about the same amount of time on the train than on the bus, but the bus stop is closer, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah, that makes
to
sense.
where I am. Um, so
Mm.
yeah, 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 I'm looking forward to being in Japan, not in the summer, although I think it's still rather warm in Tokyo.
Yes, it looks warm. It looks warm. Yeah, I have a bit of a dilemma in terms of how I actually get to the place in Medjugorje, Nathan. I don't know what to do.
Tell me.
Should I? Because I'm flying to Narita. So should I take the next into Shinjuku and then a small trip to Medjugorje? Should I take the Skyliner to Nishinipori, then take the Yamanote line round? Should I just get on the limousine buzz and call it quits and just not have to worry about anything?
I
I'm not
find
really sure.
I would go
Mm.
for whichever gets you to whichever. You're gonna have to do a change anyway, right?
If I get the buzz, I'll just end up somewhere in Shinjuku, but I'll have to do something at that
Yeah, but that's
point.
what I mean, that you're gonna have to do a change
Yeah,
anyway, regardless. So
yeah.
you'd have to get in. So I would go for the option that's the fastest one, regardless of the direction. Whether it's the
Okay.
next or
Just to
whether
get
it's
it.
the
Yeah,
Shinjuku
just get
Express or
there.
whatever, I will just go for whichever's coming next, and whichever is gonna get me to the destination quicker.
Yeah, I mean the next is a very good service, but the Skyliner is as well. To be honest,
Yeah,
the
but
Skyliner's
the
great.
one the where's it? Which one goes to Shinjuku? The Skyliner.
The next goes to Shinjuku.
Yeah, but
Next.
that's it. The next, but
Yeah.
it's more infrequent in trains to Shinjuku.
Yes, I agree, but I mean I suppose it depends. Like you said, however, whichever one's
Yeah, but
quickest,
that's what I
isn't
mean.
it? Really,
That the other
the
one, the
Skyliner's certainly
Skyliner,
quicker.
I think has
Yeah.
more frequent trips. So if you land at a really good time, and by coincidence, the one that's going to Shinjuku is there, then, but sometimes you might have to wait because not a considerable amount of time, but compared to the one that goes to Ueno and all that. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
I'll have to figure it out. Eh?
yeah.
Hold on,
Oh,
my
the
screen's
audio is
turned off.
low for me apparently. Is it? Let
Oh,
me see if I can
is
fix
it?
my audio. Sorry. My audio is low
Ja-
apparently. Where's my microphone?
Japanese first.
My
Turn
microphone.
yourself up, Nathan. I'm
Is
just
it?
such a naturally loud guy, you see. That's what it
You are?
is.
Well, I
Oh, there's
See?
so many comments, Nathan. So many comments.
Microphone. Oh,
You turning it up?
I'm trying. I'm trying. I mean, it's already quite a bit up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if that's any better.
I can try and talk quieter if you want to do the overall balance up.
This is very strange. Usually you hear the quiet one.
Aha, but no,
I
I've got
have
this
put it up,
microphone so close to
and
me.
hopefully
Yeah.
it's a little bit better. So
Oh, Bojo said it's better. Yeah. There we go. Thanks, Bojo.
awesome. So I've got my Toka banana here,
Nice.
and only one banana. I'm just gonna change my scene here because I'm gonna quickly just change the banana and remove the one banana. I have one banana left, and then I can go back here. I feel like I've now, accomplished something important in the stream, and that is like removing the
The
one
final
banana from the
banana.
stream. But I'll be in the land of Tokyo Banana soon enough, and I'll be eating
Nice.
fresh.
Fresh Tokyo banana.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Cheers, everyone.
Mm.
Hey, something to mention, Nathan, if I don't mind, whilst you're eating your banana. I was in London this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. A lot of graffiti, by the way. But they had the sumo event on in London. I don't know if you've seen that. The Royal Albert Hall had a very big like sumo event on, which looks like a lot of fun. So there's a big Japan buzz in London this time. I went to the Japan House, London, visited that after I'd finished work.
Have you been before?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'd been to the Japan House, London before,
Okay.
yes, but I hadn't been to the. I've been to the Japan Centre as well, which
The
is somewhere
Japan
else.
House in London is ridiculously expensive.
Oh my god, it was
Everything
super
in
expensive.
there is
Yeah,
ridiculously expensive. It's like
yeah, they had some stuff from like Tokyo Hands that would be like 600 yen, and it was like £10. Like, what are you
it's like
doing? That's 2,000 yen. What are you doing?
they showcase like the best of the best, So
Yeah, I mean, there were some cool innovations there and stuff. So yeah.
how
Oh,
about
hold on. Commander Dr. Nagy is asking about my JR box. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Um, Commander Dr. Nagy, thanks
hey
for
see
asking about
Rose?
my JR box. Hold on. Although it's full of stuff, I'm afraid. But this is like a desk tidy, but this JR box, it's like a collapsible JR box, so it all folds flat, really thin. I bought it in Akihabara at the, the JR store they have in Akihabara where they sell all the cool stuff.
Okay.
It's like a train store in Akihabara. And I bought it there. It's just a storage box, but it's the same ones that they use on the trains. So it's like a smaller replica version. I they do a red version as well, which I'm going to buy in the future. But yeah, it's fantastic. I really like that box. It's my second favorite thing on my desk,
Hey,
next to the Holy Grail, Nathan.
Blackburn
Yamanati.
says,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw your recent video about scams in Shinjuku. Why does Japan not deport these scammers? Um, First of all, I hope that the video did justice for what it's like as a solo male traveler or a male traveler, going through there. Um, Kabukicho is considered the most dangerous place for tourists. It's not considered the most dangerous place in Japan. There's a difference. So, and when it comes to dangers, I am aware, very, very aware, as the comment sections has rightly so said, that there are places around the world that are far worse than Kabukicho. It's true. It is. It is true. However, I wanted to make a video from the tourist perspective, ultimately, what it's like, what you could expect if you're a male walking through the area, um, especially at night or with a group of other male people walking through. Have you had the pleasure of experiencing the touts like in my video? I don't know if you watched my video yet, but
No, I've seen your video. Now, obviously, when I go to Japan, I always go with my wife.
or your family.
So the best thing, I know you've done some tips on how to avoid the touts. You know, keep your eyes down and just don't engage them and stuff. The number one tip is to walk around with a beautiful woman because they'll just leave you alone. It's fantastic.
Or with
This
children.
guy is not after anything. I'll
Or
just
with
leave him
children.
alone and he can walk
I
through.
mean, for
I did.
that video, they
Yeah,
they approach. Normally they approach, and I sort of say no, thank you, and I carry on walking. But it was a video, and I did make a little bit of conversation with them. Some
yeah, of course.
very classic conversations in there, which
Yeah.
were very difficult. Took me ages to censor. Very took me ages to blur the people out and stuff like that in that video.
Well, the only time I've ever been approached by one of those guys is when I was doing filming in and around Kabukicho. So I had my pocket camera with me as I'm walking around, and basically one tried to walk in front of me because my wife tends to walk a few feet behind me when I'm doing that, so she's not on camera, which is fine. It's up to her. So I thought maybe they presumed I was like on my own because I wasn't immediately next to my wife, and the guys tried to like push in front of me and said, "Oh, how you doing, Mister Cameraman?" I'm like, "Nope," just carried on walking. Not interested. Leave me alone, type
I
thing.
mean,
So
I don't know if you
yeah.
watched, if you got to the very end of my video, but I did have a prostitute try to steal my camera.
Well,
She tried to grab it. I mean, and the crazy thing at the end of the day is that I was walking through the street filming. I didn't approach them.
yeah,
They approached me. So
they came
I
to you.
didn't feel
Yeah.
like I was doing anything wrong. And then she's like, no, no camera or no video. And she went to grab it, and I had to actually physically push her hand out of the way.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
obviously, when that happened, I sort of said, I need to get out of I need to get that is crazy. The whole time that I was there, I never felt like I was in danger from the actual touts, the male touts. Like, because
Yeah.
they would try to encourage you, like come in here, whatever. But I didn't, they were a little bit pushy, but I felt that I could walk away at any moment, and I felt that I could very easily, I would say no, thank you, maybe another time, and I would walk
Yeah.
away, no problem, as you've seen in the video. But these two
Hmm.
women, were the only ones, or this one woman was the only one who was actually physical with me, and I actually had to push her arm out of the way, and I thought I'm gonna get out of here because if somebody's physical at that point, you don't know how far things might get. So
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the ultimate thing is to try and defuse the situation and just get out. That's the best thing you can do. I mean, nobody wants trouble when they're abroad or on holiday. So just try and get away. But like you said, if those women have approached you, it's very difficult just to kind of walk past, isn't it? If they're trying to grab your camera and stuff. Um, so there are different rules, aren't there, in Japan about being filmed and things. So you have to be careful around what you're filming. But you know them anyway.
I
So
mean, generally,
it's
don't
yeah,
focus on people unless you ask them for permission. That's
yeah.
generally it. And
Hmm.
obviously, when it came to this topic, I tried to do it in a very Ninja Monkey way because I did censor quite a bit. I didn't. I wanted to still be relatively family friendly. I didn't. I
Yeah.
felt that my video, although it's got a little bit of a dark theme, I feel that you could probably watch that in front of your
Well,
family
yeah, it's
because
a useful topic, though, isn't it? As well, it feels to me like your channel is, is what a realistic view of Japan is for tourists. Tourists, this is what Japan's
I
like. This is
try.
where I go. This is what you should do, and it shouldn't be shied away from the
I
fact
try. I
that in some
try.
of the dodgier areas, this happens.
I
So
try. But in this
it's
case,
maybe
when
better
it
to
comes to
warn
the
people.
blurring, it took me a lot
Yeah,
longer because if you notice, I didn't just blur the touts out, and at one point I was thinking, you know what? I'm not gonna blur their faces. They are doing something not very nice. Like, but then I thought I don't want to get in
yeah,
trouble with the yakuza or whatever. And I go to Japan quite often, and I do go to that area relatively often. So I thought
yeah,
I'll blur it. But I went one step further. I also blurred people that I thought shouldn't would feel uncomfortable by association. So, for example, I blurred out a whole family that were in frame for a lot of the conversation. I blurred out the little kids, the family. because they were literally in frame for a lot of the conversation, and I blurred out a few
Yeah.
people. I mean, people walking by, not really. I didn't really blur them out. But if there was somebody like standing, a man or whatever, standing around, or tourist standing around me whilst I was talking to these touts, I blurred them out because I don't want people to be guilty by association, or like to appear on a YouTube video about pimps and prostitutes, and then they're there in the video by
No, no, of course.
association when they're
Yes.
just minding their own business and walking. So
Well, that's true. I mean, I quite often go out in Shinjuku at night, and I may end up in Kabukicho, and then I may walk back through there to head towards Meijuro. Or even I've stayed in Shinakubo quite a few times, so I could be walking through those places. It's worthwhile pointing out, those places have got a lot worse in the last 5 to 10 years, 10 plus years that I've been going there.
I think
Um,
actually
irrespective of what people think, there's definitely more of it going on in between Kabukicho and Okubo. In those back streets, there's a lot more people there than there used to be,
it's
maybe
it's a
10 years ago
difficult
or
one.
something
I
else.
think that firstly, I think it's seasonal also. I think that it's seasonal, so
Yeah.
there are some times when it's just quieter. Somebody pointed out maybe December was very cold, and maybe that's why. I don't think so,
Yeah.
but I also think, from my experience, I think there was a time when I first went to Japan where I think it was worse, more dangerous. I've heard, and I've heard other content creators speak about this, like 10, 15 years ago. That area
Mhm.
was considered very, very dangerous, even for
Yeah.
tourists. There were even like gunfights and stuff like that, and people would actually be robbed and stuff like that in that area. But
Mhm.
what happened was that they introduced CCTV cameras in the area, and that
Yeah.
cleaned up a lot of the issues. So it sort of
Well,
was
plus they've
worse.
built
It got
Kabukicho
better,
Tower,
and now I
haven't they?
feel that it's getting worse again. And there was a very strong push to get rid of the touts, and there were lots of security, and I feel that that's sort of gone. And
Yeah. Well, I remember there used to be guys there because there were always touts in Harajuku. In Takeshi Street in Harajuku, there were guys there waiting to try and get you into cafes and things. But then a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, what year are we in? 2025, so maybe 6 years ago, they started to get people there with like placards on the chest that said "Touts operate in this area." Just disregard them type thing. And now I saw the same thing happen in Shinjuku as well. So some of the touts disappeared. But in all fairness, it seemed like they migrated towards Golden Guy, try and pick up all the tourists, which would make sense if you're a tout. I fully understand that it's probably less dangerous now than it has been in the past. But what I'm trying to say is, I think there's more, people people waiting on street corners and things
I
like that
mean, to
than
be
I've ever
honest,
seen.
that experience, that video was all in one night, and I've never experienced a night like that in Kabukicho. It was crazy
Yeah,
that the night that I decided I'm gonna go and I'm gonna walk around with a hidden camera was a night where I was stopped the most, and it was shocking, to be honest. But then again, there's something that's kind of interesting, and that's something that I think is important for people to know, and that is that these touts are not stupid. They see you
absolutely.
on the very, very first night, and you say no, no, thank you. The second night they see you, you say no, no, thank you. On the third night, they know that they're not gonna get you, and they won't approach you anymore. They have a really, really good
Yeah,
memory. So a lot of people are like, oh, maybe I shouldn't stay in that area. And don't worry about it. Stay in the area. Just say no. By the second night or the third night, they would have got the message that you're not that type of client. They'll remember you. They know. You notice how one of the guys actually, um one of the guys from the beginning of the video, just before I was going to my hotel, said, "Hey, where's your friend?" He remembered me, and
do you recognise you?
my friend Johannes, who was thankfully with me, because it was very awkward. It would have been very awkward to be by myself. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm just gonna
Exactly.
give a
Yeah.
little
I
bit of
mean,
time to the chat. Okay, just
well,
one
let me
moment.
just can I just address Tawada in the chat as well for a moment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
So Tawada is basically saying, why would people basically go? Well, why can't you guys go to Mitaka and Italia Guy? This is so stupid. Foreigners just hunted bad places. Pathetic. Thanks to Ada. Love you too. Here's the Hachimaki do just for you. I almost put this on. Um, so I'll tell you why I don't go to Italy, okay? Nathan can say his own thoughts if he would like to. I live in Europe anyway. I've been to Italy many times growing up. I eat Italian food at least once a week, if not more. I have no desire to travel 6,000 miles, 14 hours through China, through Japan, to then go to an Italian restaurant all the time. I'm going to spend my time in more Japanese places. That's it. That's why I don't go to Italy, guy. Just so we're clear. I have not, like, if there was a British pub, I may go once, and then that will be it. I have eaten Italian food many times. I have no desire to go to an Italian place. There we go. Although I normally have a pizza when I'm in Japan. The pizzas are fantastic in Japan. We should probably, that's one of the things we should mention, Nathan. Pizzas are so good. So good. But yeah, yeah, you know, Italian guy, go if you'd like. I don't want to go there. That's it. Simple.
Okay, I'm just gonna see if there's any questions or any specific things. I saw that she tried to grab it. People should not allow these people. There's bad people everywhere. I think that's ultimately something that we need to remember. These people
Yep.
exist everywhere, not just in Japan. I think the lady who grabbed you or camera in the video was Chinese. I don't know. I really don't know. She could have been Chinese, Korean, Japanese. I really don't know. The moment she tried to grab it, I was like, bye. um,
Yes, time to
oh,
go.
Your
Time to
Royal
go now.
Highness says that they got him last time. A male tout basically force grabbed, guided to his bar, had a few drinks, paid, left, and tried to keep me. But I'm 6'1". Wow, wow.
The big lad.
What was the
Yeah.
bill like? Was it okay?
Hmm.
Wow.
Well, it's hopefully you didn't pay too much. I know I have been asked by one of the touts who was like a Japanese tout to come into one of the restaurants there in Shinjuku slash Kabukicho in and around that area, really in the thick of it. And we just went to a normal Japanese restaurant, had some fantastic gyoza, some namabiru type stuff. The cover charge was a little bit high, but not too bad. We're talking years ago now. It's probably 2019 or something. But yeah, I mean that type was perfectly fine for me. It wasn't some guy trying to get me into an unscrupulous bar or something else.
Yeah,
It
and
was
when it
just a
comes to
restaurant
touts,
owner.
also like some people have been using the race card, and I get it because in the video, they all seem to be of one race, most of them. But I have to point out that there were some Japanese or some Asian people in there also. Um, but I've also seen an increase in Western touts, which
Yeah,
I didn't experience on that specific night, but I've experienced on other nights, and those I think might potentially be even more dangerous because you automatically associate the certain group of people with being touts, but you don't associate a certain group of Western looking people as being touts. And
that's
I've
a
seen
good
it
point.
firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen some, white guys sort of like put, play the dumb tourist or whatever and try to get people to go into bars.
Yeah,
Scary stuff.
so I think for me then the usual message is Japan is relatively safe. It feels to me like Japan is relatively safe, but it is not completely safe. So be an adult, look out for yourself. If something feels dodgy, it might be. So be prepared to walk away. That's it, simple. Walk away, walk through. Look after yourself. It's not inherently safe, is it, Japan? It's just safer than London, for example, or wherever else you're talking about, Nathan. It's just, be careful, have your wits about you. You are not automatically safe. So yeah, unless you're in Tohoku in Morioka, then there's like three people there. So that's
Yeah.
always the fun part. You know, it's but I tell you what, there was even totes in Morioka on the main street when I was there. So it happens everywhere. There were more Japanese totes, but still,
Yeah, it's just the ones in that specific area you just have to be more careful because there are touts in different
100%.
areas that might get you into a bar and but those bars might not drug you. They might not spike your drinks, like
Of
that's the
course. Yep.
difference. And ultimately,
Yep. So
I think that
be careful.
we're also like putting a magnifying glass on an area and a situation based on some examples of bad luck that tourists have had. I am pretty sure that 90% of the time, even if you go into a bar, you're not going to end up drugged, and
I think
most
way more
probably
than
is what I'm saying,
90%, Nathan.
but still,
Probably 99.9% of the time
that's
it's
what
not
I'm
going to
saying. That's what
happen.
I'm saying.
But yeah,
There's
it's
just bad actors,
yeah,
and
but
it happens in that area, so you just need to be aware that it happens in that area.
yeah, and you know what? Don't go in Kabukicho. Go 10 minutes in the other direction to Shinjuku Sanchome or somewhere else where it's a little bit quieter, it's a little bit less tourists, and there's some great, nice little bars. Go to Shimbashi, go to Ibisu,
Yeah.
go to Mejiro if you really wanted to. There's not many bars. Go to Ueno, Nathan.
And I
Like
made
you
and I
said, we're
made a
putting it.
big point at the very end of the video. I actually said that at no point did I feel like I was in danger, and at no point I said that
That's true.
even though I felt like a little fish, in a tank of sharks, because all those like touts surrounding me and stuff, like at no point did I feel like I was in danger at all. So, and the area is generally safe, just only if you know not to go or not to follow them. If you know not to follow them, then the area is safe. Nobody's gonna, like put a gun to your head and say come into a bar, in the area. Well, I hope not. Anyway.
No, no, but it's also worthwhile pointing out though we're both 40-plus-year-old white men. Sorry, Nathan, I've may give your secret away with that youthful good looks you have. But we're both 40-plus white guys, so other people may have different, women may have different experiences to us, etc. But from my perspective, it seems like the touts are looking for single guys most of the time, and that's what I've seen in the past. But let's not get too stuck up on the touts. Let's not get too stuck on them because it's it's going to be tout chat this, nothing else.
Yeah.
But
If you guys have
yeah, it's
any questions, then I'm gonna open up the next little bit of the chat. We're gonna really focus on the chat for any specific travel related questions, any topics that you specifically want us to discuss. And I also want to remind you that we do have a podcast that we both
oh yeah.
do together. Hopefully, we'll be recording another one soon. Although I'm not very sure about tomorrow. Just we might have to wait till we're back from Japan. We'll
Oh
see.
no.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
because I have to edit a
Okay.
video for my trip, and I'm not no way near
No
finished
problem, man.
this one. But we'll talk about
No
it.
problem. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, we have Alan, who has a lot of wealth and knowledge of traveling Japan, and I would say that Alan has a much better knowledge of Tokyo than I do. Generally, I'd say I think so. No, you don't think so?
No, maybe.
I think so because I think Alan spent a lot of time in Tokyo more than me.
Yeah, I used to do. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time in Tokyo. Not as much anymore. I'm trying to catch you up on the prefectures game, but
Yeah, that's
you're still
cool.
way
I'm so
ahead.
excited that you are. It's such a cool
Yeah.
little way to see Japan, completing
Hmm.
completing the prefectures. So it's pretty cool that you're
Yeah.
doing that. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Nathan. So I've seen a question in the chat. Oh, thanks, Mark.
Mark G,
Oh,
thank
Mark's
you.
from
Welcome
well,
to Chat
welcome to
Ninja.
Chatney. Well done, Mark. Woo. Mark, you've got new exclusive emojis for Chat Ninjas.
Yeah.
Drop one in the chat. Get one in there, Mark. Thanks for donating to Nathan.
Any
Someone's asked
questions?
about when is the best time of year to go, Nathan. Oh, what a question! What a
That
question.
is, and you know what my
Um,
answer is going to be. You know what I'm going to say.
you're going to say whenever you can go. That's what you're going to
The
say.
best time to go to Japan is when you can go to Japan. And
Yeah,
I mean, I think when it comes to Japan, it's all about expectations. And if you got your expectations right, if you know that in the summer it's going to be hot and sweaty and humid, and you're expecting that, and that's the only time you can go to Japan, then that's the best time
I'm
to go to
fine.
Japan. But if you go to Japan with no expectations and you get there and all of a sudden it's like hot and humid and you're dying and you're like, why the hell did I come in the summer? Then it's a whole different thing. Doing a little bit of research will take you along. What would you say?
That, I'm down a similar vein. So it depends what you want from Japan. That's my kind of awkward question back, I'm afraid. The term, when is the best time of year is subjective most of the time. different people want different things. Some people there's a lot of skiing and things. You can skiing and snowboarding in Japan is massive. So some people want to go when that's the right thing to do. Some people like beach holidays, go to Okinawa and stuff. Some people want to see cherry blossoms, of course. Some people want to see the autumn leaves change. So I'm fortunate enough to have been in every season now, which is fantastic. For me personally, I think Japan never looks prettier than it does in cherry blossom season, to be honest. But it's overrun with tourists at that time. If you go to the main three spots, there are a lot of tourists there.
It's
So
you
maybe do
can
Hanami and
find
go somewhere
beauty in
else.
everything. You know, even in the summer, Japan's the greenest in the summer.
Absolutely.
Like
Mhm.
it is so green in the summer. It's crazy how green it is in the summer. Um,
And autumn's beautiful as well. Autumn's incredibly
so
beautiful.
but I think
And
I mean
winter's
the
clear and
textbook
nice as well.
answer to when the best time to go to Japan is gonna be spring and autumn. That's going to be the textbook answer. That's what, if you were to get
Yeah.
a guide and you were to read a guide book, it would say spring and autumn. Um, I think that one of my favorite times to go is February. Um, now
Mhm.
I'm not going to go this February. I've just become a Irish citizen as from Friday,
Oh,
everyone. So
congratulations.
I am now have dual nationality. Dual. I'm British, Irish, but because it's the first time that I'm doing my Irish, I'm have to apply for my Irish passport. I have to send my passport away.
Oh, okay. So do you have
So
to is it not a different passport though? I thought it would be a new passport.
yeah, it's a new passport. It's the first time I'm applying for a new passport for an Irish passport. So I need to send my passport, and it's going to take like 2 months. So I can't travel for 2 months. So I'm going to do it after Christmas when I
See,
return.
now for most people, that's not a problem, Nathan,
I
but
know
for
this
you,
is
that's a
the problem.
serious restriction.
Well, I've sent them an email actually stating my not nothing to do with Japan, but stating the uniqueness of Gibraltar because we are very, we coexist with Spain in a way, and without not having a passport will mean that I can't cross over into Spain. I won't be able to visit friends and family in Spain.
Ah,
Um,
okay, yeah.
so I've sent them an email seeing if they can help me. Anyway, any other questions? Sorry, that was a little bit
No, no,
personal
it's
there.
fine. Congratulations on your dual nationality, though. Well done, Nathan. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it took like a
So
while.
you're now British and Irish then? That's that what it is? British
Now
and
you don't have to
Irish?
submit the EES
British Irish?
anymore. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, Dan done shirt.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I was a little bit nervous this week because I hadn't done my Visit Japan web and stuff, all that type of things. And I was like, oh my god, I better make sure I'll do it before I set off. And then I was thinking, should I just try it one time, without the Visit Japan web? Have you tried it recently, Nathan, without the Visit Japan
The
web, or
last
have
time
you
I
always
tried
done it?
it without the Visit Japan web because I forgot to do the Visit Japan web was basically was
Yeah.
basically I had to fill it up in the plane, the information,
Okay. Fill the form
fill
in.
out the
Yeah.
form like you
Yeah.
did. But it was just really annoying because I needed to then go through get the address of my hotel, which I needed Wi-Fi for because the
Oh,
address was on booking.com. You know what? Do you see what I'm getting at here? And I didn't have
yeah. It's a pain, isn't it?
Wi-Fi
It's a pain.
I didn't have the address saved, so I filled up everything. I filled everything up, and then I thought it doesn't matter. When I get to the airport, I'll just fill in the last bit, the hotel
Yeah.
address, last bit. But then when I got to the airport, I lost the whole freaking slip of the Visit Japan web, and I had to do it
Oh
all
no!
over
Start
again.
again.
And that's when I
Ah.
promised myself that I would never again fill up one of those forms ever again. I don't think
Yeah.
the
Well, that's a
issue
good
is getting
point.
through the border control with a slip of paper. I think the issue is that it's so much easier to type in the address and do everything before you leave,
That's it.
and that's
No,
it.
you're completely
It's
right.
not
That's it.
about I mean, people do say like, "Oh, there's no difference," but there is a difference because you are there wasting your time during your precious holiday time filling in a form, and then you can lose it like I did, and then I found it
Mm,
in my back pocket.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Really, well, just to complete my side of the story, then I was going to not do it, and then I chickened out, and I did it today. I've done it anyway, so never mind. Maybe I'll try next time. And I suppose one thing to mention is because I normally travel with 4 people in my party, me, my wife, and my children as well. It's much easier to do it 4 times at home than 4 times on a plane, resting it on
Well,
my
that's
knee or
it.
something,
That's
trying
the
to get
other
it right.
thing. At the end of the day,
So yeah,
it's a
it's
time
being
saver in
prepared.
that respect. And also, I mean, I haven't I since that time, that was a few years ago, or quite a few trips ago. Since that time, I've been doing the Visit Japan web, and to be honest, I think it is quicker to do the Visit Japan web to cross, because they literally just scan
Yeah,
your thing,
they scan the
and
thing, don't they?
then
Yeah. Can you phone? Nice.
you're through. Whilst if it's with a
Yeah.
form, they do have to sort of check the form a little bit longer, you know. So
Hmm.
everything's
Yeah.
basically more or less been pre-approved, by the time
I
you
know.
you go in a way.
Yeah, and I suppose with the Jester, the Japan Esther in the next few years, that might come even easier as well. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, because you know what Japan's like with bureaucratic forms. Sometimes they don't automatically get easier, do they? But I will point out the Visit Japan website has got a lot better over the years. And the reducing down to just one
Yeah.
QR code for both customs and immigration and things, it's much better than it used to be. So we'll see how that goes with the Jester. I'm quite excited about that. You do remember that I had the idea years and years and years ago. So we'll see how that goes.
David Ebbert has mentioned, I mean, there's one little thing that he's mentioned that I want to touch upon. He says, I was part of Japan's record break in September. This was my second trip.
Nice.
Next year will be my third, and it's probably going to be my last. Prices will probably skyrocket. So the part that I want to talk about there is, what are your predictions in terms of prices? And he says this is probably going to be his last trip because the prices are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I mean, prices wise, it's interesting. I suppose it depends where David's maybe flying from. Does David mean prices to get to Japan, or prices once you're there? I find it quite inexpensive when I get to Japan, but the flight prices have been quite high because of where I live in Europe.
Yeah,
I have to basically fly towards Russia, and Russia's closed off. So
yeah.
there are much longer flights, which now cost more. So yeah, I would, if anything, I would think prices might drop for me in the future. Um, but yeah, it depends. I don't
I
really plan on
think,
going anywhere else.
to be
So what do
honest, I
you think,
think
Nathan?
that there's a cost of living increase across pretty much everywhere in the world, and
Yeah,
that is reflected in travel too. So I've noticed that in the last 3 years, hotels are 15 to 20% more expensive, I would say, than what or maybe 10 to 20%, depending, percent more
yeah,
expensive than they used to be. And I foresee that this trend will probably continue. We'll probably see in the next 3 years, like hotel prices continue to go up, another 10% or something, because it is just this cost of living increase, and it's a real issue that's also hitting Japan with some some things showing an increase in prices across convenience stores, etc. And it's just
yeah.
gonna
Inflation.
hit it's just gonna
Hmm.
hit everyone. So my
Well,
advice
inflation is.
really is
Oh,
not like put your trip on hold, but maybe save a little
yeah.
bit longer for your trip. It's so worth it.
Well, that's a good point, Nathan. Your flights are my flights and accommodation are a big part of my time in Japan. And if I increase my length of stay, my accommodation price increases, obviously, because it's a daily price. But the flight price doesn't increase. So if it's £1,000 and you go for 10 days, it's £100 a day that flight's cost you effectively. But if
Yeah.
you go for 2 weeks and it's £1,000, it's cost you a bit less. So 750 or something else.
Yeah.
So you could make a more cost effective trip to Japan if you tried, or maybe I think there's certainly ways where you can be quite frugal when you are in Japan, and I think I am one of the people who are quite frugal in Japan.
Are you upset that
Maybe
you
not
missed
when we're having a
Expo?
drink. Uh, oh, everyone else upset that I missed Crash, but no, I'm not upset that I missed the expo
I'm not
at
either,
all.
to be honest.
No, it was similar to what I was saying to Ada before. You know, I go to Japan to experience Japan, not to experience the countries that
So
are
quick, Mark.
near
So quick,
me.
Mark.
So yeah, it's up to them, I suppose. But I'm not interested in seeing the expo at all. I want to see what Japan is like. For me, the prices in Europe for flights have dropped quite a bit. Now the Chinese carriers have come on board. So if anything, I think I'm flying at the moment as cheap as I've ever flown to Japan.
Wow.
So it's really really good. And it's quite direct as well. So yeah, big thanks to the Chinese carriers. And I do get to visit China as well on my way there and back. So that's always quite interesting as well.
Oh, Lord McRae actually says, I can say I was in the World Expo and found it interesting to see the various exhibits, booths, and especially the Gundam Pavilion. I have to admit that
Oh,
I
that looks good.
regret not seeing the Gundam Pavilion. I am gonna be
Yeah.
100% like honest here. I think it's the beauty of Japan and the beauty of travel, and that is that everybody has their own likes and wants. And I'm not into scuba diving, and then somebody said to me, "How dare you go to Okinawa and not scuba dive? Like you should scuba dive." Then I was like, "Because it's not my thing." And
Yeah.
everybody has
Yeah,
their
I don't want
things,
to.
you know.
Well, that's what's great, isn't it, about Japan? There's so much to see and do there. There's always something for everybody. You know, you might like snowboarding, you might like bonsai trees, you might like anime or whatever, but the choice is up to you. That's what's fantastic about it. Isn't that Gundam that's in Osaka? Isn't it the one that used to be? Where was it? Was it Yokohama before? I can't remember where it was now.
It
It was
was
near Tokyo, wasn't
Yokohama.
it?
It's slightly
Yeah,
different though, but it's a different pose.
but
But
it's
it
the
was
same.
Yokohama,
Is it the
yeah.
same actual robot though, but a different pose?
I'm not very sure if it's the same robot. The one in Yokohama was a unicorn one. I don't know if it's smaller. The one in the expo. It looks smaller. I don't know.
Ah,
The one in Yokohama was humongous.
yeah. If you think they're kind of quite spread out now, you've got Odaiba, Osaka, Fukuoka. That's that maybe there's a Gundam golden route that you can do now across Japan and visit the three Gundam type of thing. Who
Yeah,
knows? We'll have to try that out, Nathan, one time. So yeah. Oh, we've got a few more questions going through actually. There. Do you mind if I just answer one or
go
two?
for it.
Is that
Yeah, go for
okay?
it.
So, Lanny, you've asked where do you normally fly from? Which airport? I'm searching for next year right now. So I fly from Manchester because I live in the northwest of the UK. There are no direct flights from Manchester to Japan, so I have to go somewhere. I've been to pretty much every major European hub, and then on to Japan, except for Madrid. But recently, I've been flying by the Chinese carriers. Purely because it's a more direct flight and it's inexpensive. So yeah, and in terms of carriers, I'm talking China Airlines, Hainan, and Junyao Airlines. And Yabashi has also asked something direct. Japan to Japan. Any tips for Beijing Peking Airport at night? We'll stay there for 19 hours. I'm not sure what to do at night. So, what I like to do when I go to Beijing is I normally get someone to pick me up. You can do that via Klook. Nathan, get your Klook code on, please, so we can get you some links if you don't mind.
I even forgot.
Yeah, I
Oh,
normally
it's covering
I
my
hire a
face.
driver.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It can cover
it's
my
okay.
face. It's fine.
Only quickly then. But yeah, I hire a driver via Klook who takes me into Beijing itself. I visited Tiananmen Square, which is absolutely fantastic. That closes maybe 5 6 p.m. as does the Forbidden City and stuff. So depending on what time you get there, factor that in. If not, there are plenty of places to look around and shop inside of Beijing. If you wanted a top tip from me in terms of traveling to China, please make sure you've downloaded Alipay, which is basically everything in China goes through Alipay. So make sure you've downloaded Alipay and set it up. You can even book taxis on Alipay, and you can get yourself straight back to the airport as well. So Beijing, very very nice. If it's one of those places where you have to stop over, why not? I'm going to Shanghai in 3 days, and I do the same thing in Shanghai, head into the city centre. Although it does have the maglev, that's a bit more fun.
Exciting,
So yeah,
exciting.
there we go. Yep.
Well, guys, I'm gonna start rounding things up here. Um, and I'll be hanging out with Alan in Japan. Actually, the next in in like a week's time, nearly. We'll be hanging
Kyoto,
out
Nathan,
more
I'm
or
so
less.
excited.
We're gonna be doing a day trip together, and then we're gonna meet up in the evening, and we're gonna have a little bit of a creator meetup with some other creators, including whoa, what's happened?
Oh, sorry, that was me. That was me.
Uh,
Sorry, I got too excited.
I
I
think
got too
Oriental Pearl is
excited.
gonna meet us also in the evening.
Oh, okay. Everybody saw behind the scenes there, guys. Sorry about that.
Awesome.
I was so excited. I kicked the gimbal thing.
It's fine. But
So yeah, sorry about
it's
that.
yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to hanging out with you, and um Luke will also join us. Hopefully
yeah,
Daniel will also join us. And
that'll be
a lot
great.
of yeah, so
Hmm.
it'll be a
We had a
creator,
great.
lot of sort of get together,
I think
and
last time we had a really good creative meetup, didn't we? As well, that was fantastic.
it'll be
So
fun.
it's nice to speak to people outside of our own echo chamber sometimes, isn't
It
it?
is,
Nice to
and
chat
it's
to
always
people with
very
a
good
difference
to
of
have
opinion.
some advice. You know, there's some people there that do things differently to us, and I'm always willing to learn. And actually, that last video that I put up, because Johannes was in it, I wanted to make sure that he was happy because he appears a lot more than me, and because obviously I'm wearing the camera and it's he's in front. So I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that he was happy, especially with the time where the tout sort of says, "Oh, married, you know, you can backslide. Forget about your wife. You know, you need to try different things." And I was like,
Oh
really,
God.
really, I need permission from him to put that on, like So, and then he sent me some really, really good feedback, like maybe you should speed things up at the end for retention and stuff like that, which I did.
Wow.
So yeah, and if you haven't watched that video, please watch it, please comment, please like, and I hope you like it. It's really raw, it's a very raw video, but I also go a little
Hmm.
bit into, like some informative bits about the kids that are there and etc. And
Yep.
the words titties come out quite a lot, but it's
Oops.
like
Yep.
blanked out. And I wasn't very sure if that
Well,
was
well done.
considered a curse word or if it was considered like a rude word. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna risk it.
No, I think I mean, it's quite rude, isn't it?
It is,
So
it is.
I would think
I've
so.
never heard that
Yeah.
word so many times. And you know what the crazy thing is? I haven't mentioned this, but there was one thing I was recording. I can't find it anywhere, so it didn't make it into the video. If I find it, I'll post it on Patreon or something, blurred because this is kind of crazy. The guy came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to see some?" The word that we just said,
Yeah.
and he brought out a book, a folder, and the folder was basically pictures of that
Oh
pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures
God.
and pictures. And he said, I can bring any of these to you in the next 5 minutes to this location. I was like, crazy, crazy
Jesus
stuff, crazy
Christ.
stuff.
Yeah, that's not very good, is it? I'm afraid. Best try and avoid those places, Nathan. You'll be fine with me. What we'll do, Nathan, if we have to walk through, we'll hold hands, and then they'll probably just leave us alone at that point. She'll be
I
fine.
don't know.
I'll hopefully my wife will be okay about that. We shall
I'm just
see.
gonna grab onto Michaela and pretend that she's mine.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
walk
there you
in
go. That'll be
front, right?
fine.
And I'll grab
I'm.
Michaela. You can have a
Whoa,
little
whoa,
bit of
whoa,
an
whoa.
experience of kabukicho
That's.
on your own.
I don't think I want that experience. Thanks very much.
This is why I
I'm
made the
perfectly
video, so you
fine.
could have the experience through the video.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, cheers. I think I'll be okay on that one. But yeah, it's a very odd that some of those things, but thankfully I haven't experienced them in the same way that you have.
Sister
So,
Bliss, just like a restaurant menu, it was mental.
oh,
It was a
mm,
moment in my life where reality didn't hit my brain. It was happening and I was processing what was happening in a delayed way because the guy brought out the book. He started showing me the book. I didn't know what I was looking at, and then I realized what I was looking at, and I realized what he was telling me, and I was and it my brain, because my brain isn't, that's not my normal day-to-day life. Like you know what I mean? So my
mm.
brain was super delayed, and then I realized what was going on, and I was like, no, thank you, but to begin with, I didn't know what he literally just brought me a book of tits, basically. Sorry for using that word, but
So yeah,
it's
the
crazy.
the
It's
boob
crazy.
book. Yeah. Well, I mean, just say you're not interested and to keep walking. That's the best thing to do. Keep your head down, keep walking.
Did you
Hey,
get
no,
my
man.
little joke with the
Yeah. What a
video?
boob book. Which one?
a few people pointed it out. They're like, "Oh, you're so funny." It was the guy said 40 minutes, 40 minutes, all you can touch, right?
God.
And
Yeah.
I said in the, I'll say it because I say it in the video anyway. I said in the video, 40 minutes. I won't last 2 minutes.
I only need 3. Yeah.
And the guy looked at me like did not understand what I was like the joke at all.
All right. Never mind.
Crazy stuff. Crazy
Well,
stuff.
I mean, just so we're clear, then when we're in Japan, we won't be doing that.
No, we
The
will not.
stuff. No, although we might head to one of our favorite chicken restaurants. Who knows, Nathan? See where the night takes us.
Sister Bliss. Thank you, Sister Bliss. I would last.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy.
Let's
Wouldn't
see. Yeah,
last.
yeah,
We wouldn't.
yeah. We
That made me laugh
wouldn't.
so
That's
hard.
very good.
Hey
Yeah.
David,
Oh,
I'm just
David's here.
about to end the stream here, so I appreciate it if you could maybe watch the replay. And
I think David's in
exciting
Japan.
because I will be streaming next time. Next stream will be from Japan. Think of it that way. Think of it that way. Next stream
How
will be
exciting!
from Japan,
Will you be
guys.
streaming at normal time? Normal time, Nathan.
It won't be able to be normal time because I arrive at 8 in the morning in Japan.
Is that Monday morning? No, it'll be Sunday morning, will it?
Sunday. Oh yeah, so maybe I could do Monday. I could do a Monday stream in the morning.
Gazumi's here as well. Gazumi's just rocked up. Hey, Gaz.
Hey, Gazumi's also here. Also,
Mm,
Gazumi.
no.
But I meant
Gazumi,
to stream and I
the
didn't
pictures.
stream.
I know the pictures he's been posting on your Discord, Nathan.
Oh,
This
I
Discord
know.
link in the chat. Come
I
on.
know.
But Gazumi's pictures have been absolutely
They have been.
fantastic.
They have
Human
been. They've
Amikaido
been
and stuff looks
fantastic. In fact,
so good.
there's been quite a few people put in some pictures, 70% pictures from Kyoto that were so beautiful with the stream and the temple, and it was like magic,
Yeah,
and I loved
beautiful.
it, and I love seeing my community
Absolutely
enjoying
beautiful.
Japan, when I'm not in
Yeah.
Japan. I would much rather be
But
in
get on
Japan
Nathan's
and watch
Discord.
your photos whilst I'm in Japan, but
Well, I think it helps to bring Japan to you when you're not there, doesn't it? That's the whole point. There's always somebody going to Japan in your Discord. So if you can join Discord, and if you
thank
want
you,
to
Sister Bliss. We love
join
you all.
Nathan's
We love you
Discord
too.
below, it's
But I
fantastic.
love this little
Yeah.
community that we have. I might not have millions of subscribers. I might not have crazy drama going on right now, but
Yeah.
but I'm a content streamer and a content creator. I have a lot of support, and I feel the love. So anyway, on that note,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being on the stream with me today. And I'll
Hey,
see you
no
in
problem.
person.
I shall see you in Japan, my friend.
Oh yeah.
See you, buddy. Nice chatting to you all. Thanks very much.
See you. Good night.